Yeah. Can you say aluminum?
Aluminum.
Yep, pretty close. Thanks. All right, you want to show everybody at home how you can pick it up?
Yeah.
Show 'em how strong you are. Go. Whoa! Should have known that was gonna happen. Can you put those screws back in that box for me?
It's big mess on here.
Behind me is my beautiful 1979 Toyota Corolla wagon. Chassis code's TE38 and it is beautiful. I have loved these cars for a really long time, but in the States they are super hard to find. Not a lot of people were buying Japanese cars in the 70s in America, and so because of that, not a lot of them are around, and the ones that are, people hold on to like crazy or they let rot in a field somewhere. I found this one on Facebook Marketplace, and technically I spent $100 on it. Now, if you want an explanation of that, check this video out. Basically, I bought a Jetta, I fixed it up, I sold it, and then I used the profit from that sale to buy this car. And it has been great until about a month ago. Well, it's actually been probably 3 months now. I was driving down the road and it just stopped running. It stopped wanting to run. I drove it like that for a while, just cranked the idle up a little bit, and I just felt like I was gonna damage something. So I parked it, haven't touched it since, so it does not run right. Well, it'll run right now, it just doesn't run very well. It's also got a flat tire right up here in the front, so we gotta fix that first, I think. Very hard to roll. This thing has a Toyota 2TC engine. It's actually a really famous engine that I never even heard of until I bought this car. And it's a 1.6 liter and it's a Hemi, which is pretty funny to me because Hemis in the States are like massive V8s that Mopar made. Now, this interior has seen better days. It's cracking. I mean, the seats are just awful. I don't think they're recoverable without major work. The carpet is really dirty. It smells like an old car, which is good. I like that smell. It smells kind of like gasoline and old leather. I don't know why, but I like it. But it needs a lot of work. So if you watch the channel, you know a phrase that I use is wide body everything. I love wide body cars, and I realized that this year we haven't wide bodied a single car, which is really sad because we've built like a few. So it's time, and this one will get wide bodied. So the thing that makes this a lot more unique than the C10 is, well, it's a lot more unique than the C10. Very hard to find parts for. So we're gonna be making a lot of stuff for this car. We're gonna be fabricating a lot of stuff, 3D printing some stuff, just to get the parts that we need because they're just incredibly hard, if not impossible to find, especially in the US. Now these are really popular, I think in South America. Some of you guys will have to comment below and tell me. I know a lot of you guys reached out to me and said, dude, these things are huge where we're from. All right, so this is it. This is the new budget build, and I know you're probably wondering how much are we actually going to spend on this thing? And if you haven't read the title yet, the answer is $3,000. Now, I'm allotting myself more money than the C10 because of the lack of availability of parts, and we're gonna do it a little bit more legit. We're gonna wide body it. We're gonna do the suspension. The suspension's gonna be pretty nice. We're going to hopefully make it a good bit faster. We're going to do the interior a little bit more completely. And it's going to be actually kind of hard to stay under that $3,000 price range. But the whole point of this whole build series of the budget builds is do something in a reasonable budget for you and for me. It's a lot easier for me to build something quickly when it doesn't cost that much. And so we are going to do our best to keep this under that $3,000 mark. And I think we're going to get really close. So I'm sure you're wondering, what is first? Well, for me, when I'm building a car, especially a wide body car, there's two things that have to happen. And the first is wheels and tires. And I've got a very special set of wheels for this car that I've been waiting for so long to put on, and we're gonna be doing it today. But first, well, we have to unpink them. So some of you guys may remember this, but a few months ago, I wanted to do a custom finish on some wheels, DIY style. I wanted it to be like a colored brushed finish, and we did it with these. However, the color that I chose that I thought was rose gold is a color shifting pink to gold. So they look pink most of the time, and if the sun hits them just right, they look slightly less pink and more gold. And you know, it's kind of cool, but it's just not the look we're going for on this build. So we're gonna do these first. These are Bridgestone Spieg 7s. It's a pretty rare Japanese wheel. It's a 2-piece wheel, as you can see. This is not the whole thing. The rest of it's in there. And I got these for this project, but I didn't tell anybody that that's what it was for. So this is what these are for. We are going to get all of this clear coat that I sprayed on there off of them, and then I've got to decide, am I gonna polish them out, which they're very close to being polished out already, so I may do that, or paint them, or a little bit of both. I've got to figure out kind of a plan. I am not sponsored by these people, but listen, guys, this stuff is the best paint stripper I've ever used, and I've used a lot of paint strippers. Clean Strip, oh, it's Clean Strip. I didn't realize it was Clean Strip brand. Hey, Clean Strip, if you want to send me some of this stuff, I'll keep promoting it on my channel. Video you? Hey, if you guys want to see how we built this thing, I have a whole video playlist that I'll link at the top of the video right here, and you can watch. We built this thing basically from scratch, right? Yep, the spoilers we built out of 3D printer. We did the wheels 3D printed. The turbos are 3D printed. The fenders are hand-laid fiberglass by me over clay. And then obviously the paint job. All right, see ya.
What?
I said see ya. You remember when we built the wheels for your Corvette?
No.
You don't remember? We built those wheels? What did we build the wheels in your Corvette out of? You remember?
Corvettes!
Well, we made them for a Corvette. We built them out of dog bowls. Remember? We went and bought those dog bowls and then built the wheels out of them. This piece goes inside of there to make a whole wheel.
For my Corvette?
No, for Daddy's car.
What kind car?
That brown one over there that's been sitting forever.
How did Shay move it over there with the tractor?
He put his tractor on the back of it and pushed it out of the way. You gonna sit right there while I work?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I brought these things into the paint booth, and we are going to sand them down with 400 very lightly just to get them smoother. I set them up on these paint cans. So that's the easiest way to paint wheels, I think. Gets them kind of off the ground. It's easier to get around all the different angles and stuff. So we'll hit them with 400, degrease them, and then we are ready to paint. Again, let's do it. So I think the camera's picking this up, but this is a dark gunmetal, kind of a bluish, dark gray color. Really looks nice. I mean, really nice. And I think the best part about this is all of these holes and stuff that would be covered by the centerpiece kind of disappear into the darkness. So in the dark, this is gonna look like just a black wheel, but when the sun hits it, you'll see all this pearl and glitter and coolness. And it'll look kind of like a dark gray, dark blue gray. I think it's gonna be perfect for this car. All right, let's go put them back together. Well, we have an issue. The problem is, it's an interference fit, so for like a 3-piece wheel, you would have the lip that goes on one side, the barrel that goes on one side, and this gets sandwiched between those two. With a 2-piece, you just have the lip and it's all welded together inside of the barrel. it's gonna have to be like pushed in all kind of at one time. I think the trick is to have a press, you know, but I don't have one of those, so I'm gonna guess there's probably no trick, but I wanna make sure before I start hammering away at these things, because these budget wheels will get very expensive if I have to convert them to 3Bs. Okay, so I figured out how to put these wheels together, and I'm gonna show you guys how I managed to do this in my garage. I did a bunch of research, and you can't really find anybody telling you how to put these things back together. In fact, a lot of people say don't pull them apart because they are very hard to get back together, and they are not lying. But I have one successfully put back together. It's almost all the way done. I've got to torque all the bolts down and it'll be done, but I'm gonna put some Loctite on them first. Now, before we get into anything, let me tell you this. I am not responsible for anything you do to your car. I'm not recommending that you do this or anything else you see on the channel. I don't think that you should try this at home. If you do, it's under your own discretion. I am not responsible, I am not liable, I am not a wheel professional, and I do not know what I am doing. All right, so let's put this wheel together. Alright, so all of our bolts are in. The top is still out just a little bit. We're gonna be able to use these bolts to pull them in. Now, these bolts are only rated for like 20 foot-pounds, something like that. So you can't really crank on them and just do it all at once. So what we're gonna do is we'll go around and we'll hand tighten everything. I may use the drill because these are a little bit rusty and old. But get all these nuts tightened all the way up to the face. And then we're gonna take this impact and a wrench on the other side. I've got this 12-point wrench for the front. So we're gonna go around and tighten them up. Now what's gonna happen is, as I tighten this one will get loose. And as I tighten this one will get loose. And it'll keep going that way all the way around. And we'll just keep going until they're tight all the way around, until we get back to this one and it's tight. And then we'll look for any more loose ones, tighten those down, and that should get our wheel pretty well centered. From there, we're gonna go around and make sure everything stays really tight, make sure everything looks like it's in all the way and centered. And then our center should be pushed all the way through our wheel. We'll be able to check with measuring and stuff like that.
Love you.
Oh, yeah. Just 2 times. Rap, rap. Say rap, rap. You say that?
Love
Rap, rap. Rap, rap.
Bye-bye.
There we go. Our wheel is installed. Now, we gotta do the rest of these, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the third wheel together, and then we will pull all these bolts off. We'll Loctite all of them, and then we'll torque them down to 20, 25, something like that, foot-pounds. Woo! All right, the first 3 are done. If it gives you any idea of how much time that took, my battery died on my camera, so it took a while. I mean, these things, look at that. That is really cool. I cannot wait to put this on the car. All right, so I have one more barrel. Let me show you real quick. So you see all these fancy, nice ones that will just sit right here. Admire the work. I really love the color that we chose. Oh, it looks great with the polished lip. What it doesn't look great with is this. Look at that thing. Yeah, let me get a close-up so you can just see the texture on this. This wheel has lived a rough life. I don't know if it's ever been washed. And we gotta get all that junk off. we are done. So this one is now caught up with the rest. You can see it is now polished and shiny. This is what I would call like rough polishing. You could definitely get it to look deeper than this. You could get it shinier by spending more time with sandpaper and stuff, but I hate polishing stuff. So this is good enough for me. I think it looks cool. So what we're gonna do now is drop this face in, and this will be our 4th wheel, which means we'll be done. And we'll be ready to take them to the tire place. I am convinced the tire place is gonna look at me like I'm crazy. Because this is kind of a weird thing to do, but hopefully we'll get tires mounted tomorrow. I have them sitting right over there. All right, back to some sort of time lapse or cut or music montage or something of me putting this wheel together. And then we will have 4 wheels, and we can finish them all up by Loctiting everything, torquing everything to specs, and oh, and I gotta show you what I'm gonna do with valve stems. All right, let's do it. Alright, I am going to cut the camera rather than letting you guys see a time lapse of me struggle. And I will come back in the morning, hopefully with a completed wheel and a renewed sense of excitement about these things. Because right now, I'm not very excited. My camera's not even straight. Y'all, it's late, I'm tired, I want these wheels to be back together. Oh, this is the reality of built. A lot of times, it's just me, middle of the night, building something.
Later that same evening.
It's been about 30 minutes. The camera's still crooked. It's still nighttime. It's together. When you flip a wheel like this, there's one major issue that I'm sure a lot of you have questioned, and that is, how do you put air in the tire other than taking the wheel off or like fishing the air in behind the wheel? Well, it's actually not that difficult. So we have, I've never done this before, by the way, so I'm hoping that I hope it's not that difficult. We have a valve stem right here, right, where you would put your air in. It's in there, it's locked tight. What I did is I got online and I found these. This is a valve stem extender. So what we're gonna do, I hope, is put these on here and give ourselves access to the valve, at least an easier access. So I think for the purposes of taking them to the tire shop, I'm gonna leave this off because it is a little bit weird. But as you can see now I have this valve stem right here, so I can put air in the tire. It's easy to access. All that cool stuff. All right, so we just got the wheels and they look sick. But before we can put them on, we've got to get this thing to run. I need to move it out of this field and into a place where we can jack it up. We finally have a place. I'll show you in just a minute. It hasn't run well in several months. It hasn't run at all in about 3 weeks. So we're gonna try to get it running, and I'm gonna try to limp it over there so we can put these wheels on. I am so excited. Let's figure this thing out. I hate these batteries that don't have handles on them. Okay. All right, bad news today. It quit running, just stopped and went to start it again, and nothing. Dead in the water, no lights, no beeping, no fuel pump, which is electric, nothing at all. So swap the batteries back out, checked them. I don't know. We tried looking at all the fuses are good. Evidently there's a main 100 amp fuse somewhere in this thing. I don't know where that's at. Starter's connected, everything looks fine. We haven't touched anything. it's just got no power. What we're gonna do is kick it in neutral, air up this front tire, and roll it and get it under a roof so that I can fiddle with this engine later without worrying about rain or darkness or anything like that. So you guys that have been around for a while might be surprised because I'm in my garage. This is a built first. I've never in my life owned a garage that I could work on cars inside of. I'm a little out of breath because I had to push that up the hill. But we're here, we're in the built shop. There's a giant hole in the wall behind me and a car is in here, and I'm not sure that there's a much more fitting way to put the first car in this garage than to push it. So hopefully it will drive out of here under its own power. That's the plan. We gotta figure out what's going on right now with all these electrical gremlins. If you know why we have no power inside, if there's a fuse, if you're a Corolla person, if you have any idea what's going on, we had power, car was running, car shuts off, no power, dead in the water. If you know what that is, comment below, email me at Caleb@BuiltOfficial or DM me on Instagram. I read all those. I gotta figure this thing out. Anyway, we are in the shop. I have a video coming where I redo this whole shop. We're almost done for the stage 1 anyway. So we'll be showing that soon on the channel. Look for that. Cutting this wall out was a monster of a project. But we're gonna be working in here. So we're gonna hang up the engine stuff for now. I'll come back to that after I've read some of your comments, and some of you guys that are into Corollas can kind of speak some knowledge into this. We're gonna put these wheels on because I'm just ready to see it. So that's what we're gonna do next. Hopefully, this could hit our fenders. We'll have to, whoa, easy. Like I said, go down really easy. Oh yeah, man. Now, the fenders that I got are 4-inch wide fenders. I think that's gonna work on the front. I'm not sure if it's gonna work on the back. It may just be a little bit too wide. So if that's the case, we'll work with another set of fenders, maybe get some smaller ones, I'm not sure.
I'm gonna touch up.
Your car stuck?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come get your car. I'm gonna go get his car. You guys check these wheels out. Alright, that is it. I am very excited about how this car came out. These wheels are incredible. I'm not gonna go ahead and put all 4 on right now. I still need to Loctite them and torque everything down, but as far as I'm concerned, they are awesome. They are finished, there are tires mounted, they are balanced, all is well. Now this thing does look like a monster truck, so we are gonna be lowering it. That is coming in the next video. I told you that we've got to build a lot of stuff for this car, and the suspension is no different. So we're gonna be building a suspension setup that I think is going to be actually like really good. So make sure you check back Tuesday. We are gonna be building the suspension for this. We're gonna be dropping this thing as low as we can and hopefully making it look a lot cooler. We're also gonna have to cut it up because there's no way these wheels are going to fit once we drop this thing down. So if you like this video, make sure you like it, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. If you made it all the way till the end, the secret word is Koni, K-O-N-I. That is the secret word. Make sure you type Koni in your comment in the description so I know that you watched the entire video. It makes a huge difference when you watch the entire video. It helps the algorithm know that people like these videos and want to see more of them, and so it puts them up in front of people. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next one.